Hello everyone and welcome. We are here, we are live, we are ready to go. Hello Philip, who just entered into the chat, and welcome. We are picking up pretty much where we left off with last week. Just to remind people what the plan is. This is this ridiculous ship that I'm really regretting building. But the plan is to take this thing to Moho. It is on its way. It has done a flyby of Eve, and I'm trying to orchestrate another flyby of Eve to facilitate getting down to Moho as efficiently as possible. This has happened without its share of hiccups. So why don't I really quickly kind of explain what the hiccups are. Hiccup number one was oh yeah, just before I left off, there was the booster that brought part of this up into orbit, and I transferred all of the fuel out of the booster into this ship, thinking I was being really smart, and I transferred over all of the oxidizer as well before we ejected ourselves out of Kerbin's sphere of influence. The problem is that these are nuclear engines. They don't need oxidizer. So I had all this extra mass for no reason whatsoever. And then last episode, towards the end, I was fiddling with getting myself another Eve encounter. And then I said, you know what, I'll do this after the fact. And I realized as soon as I restarted the game and looked at it again, I was fiddling with making the maneuver down here at Periapsis. That's dumb. I'm not going to intercept with Eve at Periapsis. I'm intersecting with Eve up here at Apoapsis. That's where I need to do my playing around with the period of this orbit to time it to get another intercept. So I got, coming up in only 6 days, a 33 meter per second burn, which is going to get me an intercept with Eve in 1 year, 414 days. It's going to take, we're going to go around a couple times before we get there. But, so that's okay. That's a good thing. The problem was, while I was fumbling last episode, I did this mammoth plane change, which I don't think was necessary. So I used a lot of fuel with that. So I'm a little bit apprehensive, maybe might be the word with this. There has been some mistakes that have been made. One thing I should draw attention to is the delta V numbers here are completely untrustworthy. Don't look. Some people might be looking down here and going, "You don't have enough fuel." The reason why these are untrustworthy is in my stealing fuel from the booster that brought the bottom half of this into orbit, I ended up loading the space plane half of this with liquid fuel. So there's tons of liquid fuel here. There's a lot of liquid fuel here. The space plane doesn't need that liquid fuel. It is a repository of liquid fuel. So, but what that means is that liquid fuel is adding mass, which is bringing down this stage's delta V, because this is not part of this lower stage. Moreover, it's also a ton of fuel that I plan on sending down to these stages once they are getting more emptied. In fact, what I did is I fiddled around with the fuel priority and really jacked it up. So hopefully when I do my next burn, it'll be burning from these tanks, because I want to use up all these tanks that are in this space plane. It doesn't need any fuel anymore. So the end of it is I don't know what the delta V that's left in this thing is. I have no idea. So, well, all I can say is I hope for things to go well. I guess that's about it. I feel like I'm hedging my bets a little bit, but this mission's already gone on way longer than I ever anticipated. Who knew Moho was so hard? But anyway, in the meantime, we just gotta time warp another 6 days ahead here, do this little burn, and then start tweaking our Eve encounter. So, let me look at the alarms. There should be an alarm here, right? There isn't. So let's set up an alarm, create an alarm for this burn that's coming up in 6 days. Maneuver. And give myself like 10 minutes of warning here. And add that alarm. Okay. Keep an eye on my resources. These guys, by the way, I have 2 scientists aboard here, Jeremy and DKK98. They are slaving away in the science bay, making all kinds of science for me. So good on them. Okay, let's time warp. Is this your birthday today, Philip? Well, happy birthday. All right. And okay, we are at the spot here. There we go. Delete that, and let's stick this onto the maneuver node. This thing is not exactly what you would call nimble as it makes its way around. So thankfully, this is really just a very, very tiny burn. What I want to do too, let's just highlight, say, this tank, so I can keep a little bit of an eye on it. And there's a little bit of oxidizer in here because I do want this plane to have a bit of oxidizer for the deorbit burn to get back down to Kerbin. That's all that's for. So I will want to have a little bit of liquid fuel in here, but it certainly doesn't need all this. All right. And looks like we're pretty much on the burn here. And if it looks like I am really trying to hedge my bets, it's because it is. I have lost a bit of faith. We will do our best. The plan being to land on Moho, plant a flag, and return. We shall do our best. But if we has to bail, we has to bail. One thing that this little stream is doing is making me really want to get to my Kerbalism stream that I put on a hiatus a few months ago. This is making me appreciate that stream more. So I'm getting a little tired of this thing. Okay, 20 seconds to the burn. Let's get a little closer. Maybe I should watch this from a little late view focus. There, let's watch this from E's perspective. Here we go. And go. Whoa, jeepers, what was I thinking? I was thinking of my Kerbalism stream. I completely overcooked that, didn't I? I was thinking of my Kerbalism stream. Oh my gosh. Did I overcook or did I panic undercook? I think I overcooked. I was thinking of my Kerbalism stream and I had in my head that this was a KOS script executing the node and I was like not ready to stop it. I just was like going. Oh my gosh. Let's see what we got here. We can use some RCS to try and tweak this. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, I did overcook it because I can see the node here on the other side. Holy lordy-dotty-da, what? Oh well, this isn't a lot of fuel. That's what's important. I forgot to take a look at whether I was draining from the tanks I thought I was draining from. We'll check that when we go back. KOS on the brain. I miss KOS. For those that don't know, KOS is Kerbal Operating System. Yeah. Which is a programming language built within KSP. I should be... Here's my encounter. Let's lose a little RCS, see if we can tweak this. I am not getting anything. Okay. Let's delete a node. Okay. So let's see if we can figure out what's going on here. So this encounter is not coming up for a few orbits, right? You can see on this turnaround, we're going to be missing it by quite a bit. So the way in which you see ahead orbits is you put just a dummy maneuver there. You don't put anything into it, and then you just start popping ahead orbits. So with each orbit, these should come closer. There we go. It's there. Yep. Just wasn't showing for a little bit. Let's see if I can get this in closer with RCS. It is not. You know what I think's happening? Why? As I'm hitting RCS and this isn't changing because every time I hit RCS, I think this thing is correcting for what I do. So I think that's why that's not working. But it is there. Okay, so what I would like to do is see if we cannot use this burn that I just created here to tweak this a little closer. So we're going to try... Is that... Nope, that makes it further. Let's up the scale a bit. And I want to use Eve to get a gravity assist. So there's a gravity assist, and I think this one, whoops, should be kicking me out further. It is. See, it's kicking me out back. So if I go on the other side, that should be getting me in closer. That's the wrong way. Why is it being that way? Okay, let's play with the timing. Okay, obviously I should have had this way later. See where we get the most bang for our buck, as they say. I can turn this down a lot. All right. Oops, lost the maneuver. Let's get that back. Seeing what gets... that was about the most efficient. But just going back and forth in time, seeing what gets me out here the furthest. And then I scale this down. I should be able... I want this to be really close to Eve. It's 100 kilometers. This should be... It's still moving me outwards, and to me, I'm not quite understanding why. See, it's not bringing my orbit down, even though I'm on the other side here. It's kicking my orbit up, and I'm not too sure as to why. And I was when I was playing around with this just before the stream, I was noticing the same sort of thing. Let's try this again. Like, it should be on one side of Eve, you get a boost, and on the other side of Eve, you get a bring your orbit down, take energy out of your orbit. But it seems like both sides of Eve are a problem. Maybe it has to do with it being so far into the future. I mean, this is 1 year, 370 days in the future. So I'll tell you what I'll do. Let's get rid of it. I did use a little bit of the fuel in here. I can see that. Tell you what I'll do is let's rotate this for the solar panels. And while I'm doing that, we'll set up an alarm. For this maneuver, and will give us a whole... give us 6 days warning. Add that alarm. And we'll get closer to it, and maybe the fact that we're so many orbits, we're a few orbits ahead, is the reason for this. So this is just rolling it for some nice solar panel exposure. Because these guys need the electricity to run the science lab. That should help. Okay, and we'll keep an eye on the science lab. Again, when it gets to 500 science, we're going to transmit it. So hopefully this will all go okay. Okay, so let's we'll watch from here. There's not much to watch. Time warp. But I'm watching this science lab. We're going to transmit when we get to 500. I don't need a lot of science to finish the tech tree. This will end up doing it. Okay. Slow that down. Okay, where is the transmit all this science away? There we go. Oh shoot, I still got this locked to prograde. Silly, silly. Silly, silly, silly. Started going over towards the prograde vector. Yeah, this whole, is being pointed out in the chat, this whole going ahead multiple orbits is a bad idea if you have life support. If you have life support, you're going to have to spend the extra fuel and get there quicker. But I don't have life support, so... In the stock game, there's no life support, so why not? Okay, we are almost done transmitting our science. There we go. And we can start time warping again. Fill up that science some more. Some point we're going to run out of scientific data to transmit into science, but that's okay. You know what? In fact, I think I'm going to make this one my last transmission. I'm pretty sure. Here, well, there we go. It's filled up. Let's transmit that science. Where is this? I know I needed 3,000 science to finish the tech tree. Where's the... Oh my god, I don't even... Can't you look at it from here? Didn't there used to be a button so you could look at what your science was? Am I just crazy? Like what science you got left? I guess I'm crazy. Okay, fine. I'm crazy. But I got me a feeling this is all the science I need. There we go. Science transmitted. Let's just watch from here. Center this on the sun. Doesn't want to center on the sun. Fine. This is where it would be really, really nice to have one more time warp speed to go 10 times faster than this. So here's us here. And how long we got? Still got a year, just over a year to go. Which is going to be, I think, 2 more orbits. And if this assist from Eve doesn't work, I'm going to have to just do a flat-out retrograde burn here to bring this orbit down. Which I kind of don't want to do, but I might be forced to. The square root symbol... Alright. Yeah, I'm trying... Oh, center on the sun by pressing tab. That's very true. I mean, eventually we'll get there. There we go. Alright, 210 days to go. That's probably one more time around. Lots and lots of time. And although this is kind of a silly thing to do with crewed in real life, with crewed vessels, if we ever do interplanetary crewed missions, you would never do this with a crewed mission. With uncrewed probes, this sort of taking your time and multiple times around, especially with going to Mercury, it's really, really common to use Venus as your gravity assister. Okay, we're coming in here now. All right. I'm just waiting for the time warp to stop, and then we're going to tweak this, and hopefully we can get this periapsis down to Moho's orbit. That is the plan. Okay. So again, we'll focus our view onto Eve. Where's Eve? Here's Eve. And I'm pretty sure I'm on the wrong side. I guess, yeah, this is our predicted orbit here. I guess this orbit's what will happen if we do nothing, right? Yeah, okay. So, I think what I need to do, let's get on to the maneuver. is bring this on to the other side. And I'm really hoping, please and please and please. Yeah, this is still kicking me out further. Anybody in the chat can explain why? So if I go around, which way around am I going now? The Eve, this is the prograde direction around counterclockwise. So I'm going around Eve in a retrograde direction. In my, everything I've ever seen in the past, that should get me reducing my resulting orbit. So I should be bringing this periapsis down. Instead, I'm kicking it up. But if I use a little bit of radial here to go the other way, now I'm on the other side, and it's still kicking it up. I'm kind of at a loss. Let's turn this to, let's try just, whoops, there. What happens if I use retrograde? That goes that way. Oh, hang on. Somebody's talking about, I might be looking at it wrong, James. I see what you're saying there. Is it putting the apoapsis down instead of the, I don't know. Oh, I don't know. No, I'm not making sense. I'm saying a lot of O's with moments of clarity in my head that turns into, no, that doesn't make sense. In my head again. So all you hear is me saying, oh, okay, so that's boosting my orbit. That makes sense. But if I come around the other way, whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. Shoot. So put the encounter on the other side. In my estimation, that should be, and it's still boosting my orbit. So, I'm honestly rather perplexed by this. Yeah, it's pushing the apoapsis up. My periapsis, like, you know, we're staying, at this end, we're staying at Eve, but it's continually, regardless of which side of Eve I go on, and I'm honestly puzzled. I've done gravity assists many times before, and I've never run into this, and I don't quite know. It's just rearranging the eccentricity, is what someone's saying. Okay, let's bring this down as. So does this mean that I cannot use Eve again to lower my orbit? That doesn't seem to make sense in my. Let's just keep doing this. This is lowering, okay, but what I'm doing is I'm just moving away from Eve so that I'm getting closer and closer to what it would be like if I didn't encounter Eve at all. See, if I delete this maneuver, there's my resulting orbit. Everything I'm doing is further from Moho than that. I'm honestly thinking what might be my best plan is just to stop screwing around with this and just do this. This is maybe a little expensive, but just a flat out I just was set that as a target. Just a flat out retrograde burn. I am not getting much hope. Isn't this because you are coming into Eve's orbit straight from the direction of the sun? Because that would make it where either side you swap would essentially be doing the same thing. That could be, James. I've just never run into this before. I've always found in the past that if I, from one side, it's from one side is I can get this out. From one side you get an orbit increase, and from the other side you get an orbit decrease. I think I'm just going to do this straight up reduce this periapsis. I'm going to also have to do a significant normal correction because I was planning on using Eve as a bit of a... Maybe I can still do that. I don't know. This ain't cheap though. I'm not seeing an encounter with... Maybe because I'm getting an encounter with Eve first is why it doesn't like that. All right, this is 1,561 meters per second. I'm not... I am not encouraged by this, but we'll see how this goes. This is the joy of doing this junk live, isn't it? I'm just going to do this. So, let's set an alarm. But yeah, that's the joy of doing this live, is you kind of have no guarantees. My usual pattern in this kind of stuff is when I can't figure out what's going on, it is the moment that I'm looking at it when I'm no longer live that suddenly I go, oh, hang on. I see what's happening. But of course, by then it's too late. So maybe I'll figure this out at some point in the future. But right now, I kind of want to just keep going and transmit away more science. And we're going to time warp. Let's get focus on our ship. So we're going to very distantly go by Eve. There's another Eve encounter, but it's going to be a distant one. So Eve's not going to be doing much for us. And then we'll do this other burn out here and try and see if we can not get something happening. Okay, so let's delete that. Let's get this Eve encounter over with. There we go. It's that very distant pass of Eve. And now we're here. Okay. So now we're out. Now, do we get our Moho... Doing this set as a target. Ugh, I don't like the fact I am not seeing any encounter indicators. Let's get on to that maneuver again. This is a big burn too. 1,561 meters per second. That's also does not fill me full of encouragement. Okay, there we go. We're going to have to do a few orbits to see when this comes back. And we have an inclination difference of 5 degrees, which isn't super either. But we will persevere. We'll see what we get. Okay, so this burn is coming up in in 1 day, 2 hours. So again, set an alarm. Give myself 5 minutes warning. I remembered that from last time. It's very good of you. Nope, that's just a raw alarm of 5 minutes. Yeah, just get rid of that. Let's try that again. Create an alarm for the maneuver. 5 minutes warning. Add the alarm. There we go. Okay. We have more science to transmit. No, we're still... Okay. And again, I give myself so much time ahead because it takes this thing that long to swing itself around. All right. And this might be a colossal mistake what I'm doing, but I'm kind of at the point where I just want to kind of keep this moving. And I know people will be disappointed if this just turns into a flyby or something like that. But I'm sorry. But sometimes stuff just doesn't go as planned. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. Maybe this will come out fine. Who knows? We'll see. I want to remind people again that this delta V down here is not right. I really don't know how much delta V is on this vessel, because of the way the fuel is kind of messed up. And again, I should be draining fuel from these tanks that are up here in our space plane. Would have been a nice way of, well, then again, then I wouldn't have the fuel that's in there, so I don't know. I was about to say losing the lower half of the space plane wouldn't have been a bad idea, but there's a lot of fuel in there too. These tanks here should all be pretty full, yeah. Oh, there's still oxidizer in that? Oh, that's... So there again, more mass. A drain valve would have been a good thing. I just didn't think about putting the drain valve on this thing. Do a save so you can come back. You know what I will do? Philip is saying do a save so you can come back. I don't want to do but what I can do, if this turns out to be a disaster, which is entirely possible, we'll make this the mission to get this. But I don't want to redo stuff I've already done in the game live. So if this turns out to be a disaster, what I will do is cobble this thing back together again, get myself to a similar situation and try and figure out what went wrong, if things are going wrong. And then I'll do a stream where we kind of pick up where we left off with a similar vessel in a similar situation and go from there, rather than having you watch me revert a save. I think I'd rather just persevere with what we got. Okay, 10 seconds to the beginning of the burn. 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. And it is a 13-minute burn. So you can see, yeah, it's draining fuel from this tank up here at the orbiter. And what we should be noticing, it should not be draining from these tanks at all. I don't think so. And what we should be seeing is this delta V. I was about to say we should be seeing it going up, but it's actually going down. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure what it's doing to calculate this. Oh, there is no staging event. Good. Okay, let's do some physics time warping here. Speed this along. How are we doing for science? We've used up almost all the science data that we've collected. I probably could have collected more with that distant... Oh, I can still see Eve back here. That distant Eve flyby. I'm going to go up to 3 times speed. This is taking a long time. There we go. So are we draining? We shouldn't... Oh, we are draining these tanks now. Does that mean we drain these ones? No. Okay, so I'm a bit confused why I set this fuel priority to 20 and I set this fuel priority to 30. So in my mind, it shouldn't be draining from these tanks at all. So we'll redistribute whatever fuel we have left once this is all done. Getting close, about a third of the way through the burn, I guess. Yep. Yeah, it's all the stupid oxidizer. Why did I do that? Should I risk 4 times physics warp? Let's do a quick save and then do 4 times physics warp. I don't know if reverting to a quick save in the middle of the burn would be a smart idea anyway. Yeah, we'll do some... This thing is... Yeah, I'm seeing in the comments there, redistribute fuel and then pony rocket and pod is so primitive to this behemoth. I wish I built a pony rocket and pod. I wish I took a Mark 1 capsule, stuck a Kerbal in it, and sent it off to Moho. That is clearly the smarter way to get a flag on Moho, is to build something as small as possible. Instead, I went stupid. And I not even understand why I did it. I just did it to do it. How is our orbit doing here? It's coming down. It's coming down. Burning Eve way in the background. Eve, I thought you were going to help me out. And maybe you could have, but I couldn't figure out how. Hi, Dan. Dan said he fell asleep. I'm sorry about that. I know this isn't the most... I want to get back to doing things more exciting than this. I know that Dan wasn't meaning that as... I don't think I was meant to take that personally. I know it's late for you, Dan. Watts says, big is good, small is boring. Alright. I'm going to start reducing the speed of this time warping. We are coming towards the end of this. Back down to 1 speed. And we'll start reducing throttle too. Get this right on. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. Lose the maneuver. There is our orbit. You can see we're missing Moho by a lot because I made no effort to try and actually, you know, do something smart here. So we're going to have to go around a couple of times to find Moho once again. In the meantime, how are these solar panels doing here? Are they reasonably... Oh, I think they're pretty good. Those ones not so much. This way? Yeah. We'll get some better exposure on these panels, and then we'll look. Oh, and I want to do some fuel redistribution. So we'll do that too. Okay, he's getting it now. This was not well thought out where the solar panels are. We'll say that. I think these solar panels are pretty much occluded by that booster. Be able to roll it a little bit. Of course, now they're on an angle, which isn't perfect either. I'm sure they're good enough. Okay, here, let's time warp to get the jiggling to stop. And let's see here. We got no liquid fuel left in there and just oxidizer left in there. So we did end up using up all of that fuel. So that means... Here, we're gonna... Yeah. That means that probably this delta V of 2370 is probably right. Which is not encouraging for trying to get a Moho capture. I can pretty much guarantee it's going to be more expensive than that. But okay, one thing at a time. One thing at a time. Let's try and see if we can facilitate a... Now you can see our orbits cross right about here. So let's see if we can not facilitate a capture right there. And again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move it. Oh, look at that. It's already happening on the... Oh, no. Shoot, that's too far away. Let's pop ahead orbits. The old pop ahead orbits. I would like the encounter to be here. I don't want to make that much of a plane change. So, boom, 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 boom. Oh, okay, that. How far in the future is that? 3 years? 3 years? Are you kidding me? Add a maneuver here and put a little bit of prograde into it. Oh, what the heck. They've already been out for 3 years. What's another 3 years? There we are. There we are. See, there's our encounter. There's our encounter. When is this going to happen here? This is 3 years, 284 days in the future. We are encountering Moho. with a 13 meter per second burn now, but I am very confident that the cost of that is going to be ginormous. Let's focus our view, like for if I wanted to get a capture. Let's focus our view here. Here's Moho. So we're going to turn this scale way down because I bet you any tiny adjustments. Oh, it just does that. Okay. I got me a feeling we ain't gonna get this capture, but who knows? Stranger things have happened. We'll get it as close as we can to Moho. These are the tiniest of adjustments I'm making, by the way. Coming up north. Oh, there we go. About there. And then we'll make an adjustment and we'll get an idea of what our cost of that's going to be. So that's 12.6 meters per second. Meters per second. Okay, so let's get down to that one. Maneuver. Again, 5 minutes warning on that. Okay. Let's get down there. Full time warp. Oh, I can still move. I keep getting reminded. You know you can move those solar panels. You got an engineer. That's very true. So that would be smart, but it's working. I'm at full electric charge, so they're good enough. I could move them. That's exactly right. I'm being asked by Flipping Miner, am I doing another Subnautica stream on Thursday? The answer is that yes. Every Thursday I plan on streaming a game that is not KSP, and for the next little while that game will be Subnautica. And I gotta be honest, I love KSP, but I worry about burning myself out on it, and I am very much enjoyed doing a different game. So yes, I will be continuing to do Subnautica streams, and then when I'm done with Subnautica streams, whenever that's going to be, I will do a YouTube poll, put up a handful of games, and people will pick what's going to be the next game that I will play on Thursdays. But Thursdays every week is going to be something else besides KSP. I think that will at least give my brain a good respite from this. All right, so we got this coming up in 4 minutes. Let's time warp to that a little closer. Again, it's not a very big, this one's 5 seconds. 5-second burn. What's that about? A 5-second burn? Oh my gosh. Ah, Philip just got the prawn suit in Subnautica. I likes me my prawn suit. Subnautica is so funny because the game, in my opinion, the hardest part of that game is at the beginning. You're so vulnerable. And then as you go along, you get, more and more equipment that makes it easier. And by the time you got the prawn suit, you're just a beast. You're just going around as like, yeah, Reapers, come and get me. I don't care. See what you can see if I care. Okay, let's use a little RCS here. Well, maybe not. Okay, let's so that's what it's predicting. I think that's right. Let's get rid of that maneuver. Oh, that's my old maneuver. I guess this is still predicting. Okay, yep. And then we'll use this maneuver here to see if we can tweak this in closer. So, yeah. No, that was the wrong way. Oh, the scale is so small on this. We clearly have to come normal down this way. Okay, and we'll up the scale and see what time. Okay, this. No, that's about it. Keep pushing that the wrong way. There we go. That was like a ½ meter per second change there. It's like tiniest of changes is really. I don't want to. Let's get in close. And I got a feeling I'm gonna want to come around Moho. Oh my gosh! Stop making. I'm gonna have to be tweaking once I'm in Moho's SOI for sure. Okay, so there's a nice close encounter with Moho. Moho doesn't have enough mass. Oh, I am coming. It is reducing my apoapsis just a little bit. But this will give me an idea of what the cost is for a capture. And I'm like 2,357 meters per second to capture and go home. I don't think that's going to cut it. Like, Moho is really expensive to get a capture around. Even with my using Eve to slow me down a little bit. So if I just do that, there you go, there's your capture. And now if I go over to that details of that maneuver, that's 2,350 meters per second. And like that's pretty much going to blow this entire stage. Oh, but then I got this stage to go home. That's right, this is this. Oh no, there's a whole. I was thinking this top part was the lander. But in fact, this top part is this whole middle core. I don't know. I'm starting to get a ray of hope. A ray of hope has entered into this. This might be doable. This might be doable. I really. Oh my gosh. Okay, don't. Let's not get carried away. Let's not get carried away. Okay, let's go to that second maneuver I have here, this capture, because that's just a dummy. That was just to get an idea of cost. Well, now we got this 15.7 meter per second burn. That's a tiny adjustment coming up in 3 years. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Do we have cause for celebration? Oh no, that's. Oh wait, I'm in map mode. Dilly. There we go. So again, we'll set up an alarm for that maneuver. We'll give ourselves, it's way in the future. Give me a few days, 6 days. I don't trust the game on long time warps. I said 6 days, I'd said 6 hours. 6 days, there we go. Okay. So, can I center it on the sun. We'll watch ourselves go round and round here. So, time warp. So here we go, there's us. There's Moho. And in 3 years, we're going to be there. So, yeah, so how's your day going? How's the weather? This is going to be a little while. We're going around and around. Yeah. It's too bad I couldn't get that Eve one to work. But it you know. This encounter, the capture at Moho is cheaper because the top part of my orbit, my apoapsis, is only as high as Eve's orbit. So I'm actually using Moho to, I'm only falling from here to here. So the capture is not as much as if I was falling all the way from Kerbin. In addition, what you can do, and I'm sort of losing patience, so I'm not going to, but what you can do is fly by Moho and use Moho to slow yourself down. So you use Moho to bring this apoapsis down a little bit. It'll only go down a little bit because Moho's not too heavy, not too massive, but then you can go by again, bring it down a little bit, go by again. And the closer you can get your orbit to Moho's orbit, the cheaper that capture is going to be. And as I mentioned, probes that have gone to Mercury, they do exactly that. But we are... How long we got here? Well, we still got almost 2 years. Snow and ice in northwest Indiana. Yeah, we got snow here this morning. I'm in southern Ontario, Canada. We got snow this morning. I had to do a little bit of shoveling on the driveway. But we are actually going to go for the capture. Of course, worst comes to worst, I could build an identical vessel to this one and fly it over here and dock the two together, and or transfer the crew into the identical vehicle and then come home in that one. There's always that option. All right, I think we got to do one more orbit. Am I right? No, we got more than one. Two more orbits. Two more orbits to hit Moho. I'm also sure that the NASA folks tend to plan these things out in advance rather than shooting from the hip. But they got better computers than we do, don't they? Okay, here he comes. So we're coming around. This should be our coming in for our final pass. No, we're gonna have to do two more. It's more than a year. Oh my gosh. Maybe three more. Yikes. Do I know where Arcona is? I do not know where Arcona is. I'm sorry. Is that Bool Bool Bool? I'm sorry, I don't know where that is. MB says that he's following along with my Kerbalism playthrough and just getting to KOS. KOS can be a lot of fun. I always think KOS is if you've never coded before, KOS is a really nice introduction. People sometimes wonder, like, what's a good language to get started with? Honestly, it's whatever. It's not so much the language that's important to get started with programming. It's just what grabs you. What's a project that sort of inspires you to want to program? And if you can find such a program or such a project, get the programming language that works with that project and go for it. And then once you learn sort of the logic of how programming works, shifting to other languages is really more about learning syntax than it is about learning programming. All right, I think I am down now to my orbital period is 166 days, so this is our last go around. In the chat, let's hope KSP2 has time warp quality of life improvements. I hope there's a lot of quality life improvements. I love this game, but I will be the first to admit there are bits of it that just are a bit on the clunky side. I am cautiously optimistic about KSP2, but like with anything, trying to sort of take a hit that was unimagined before it came out. Nobody expected this game to be as popular as it is. To try and reproduce that's a tough call. All right, I'm coming to my maneuver. And we shall, delete and close. Okay, so focus our view once again on Moho. And I don't know, this is looking this way around. Am I coming around? I'd like to come around. Yeah, so this is a pro-grade capture, which I think I want to do, especially if I want to attempt a landing. Boy, I can't believe I'm saying those words. I didn't think that would be coming to this. Maybe if I can bring that periapsis up a little. We can do a tweak when we get into Moho's SOI too. Actually, if I can bring this, I'm noticing closer I could get this. No, it's not bringing it towards equatorial. Let's not get carried away. No, that's good enough. Let's perform this burn. I probably won't be able to do it as precisely as this anyway, because it is. Let's see. Create an alarm again for this maneuver. 5 minutes, 3 minutes warning this time. Add the alarm. Oh, I must have science to transmit. I sure do. Transmit that science. Okay, let's time warp to that maneuver while that science is being transmitted. And there's a tiny bit of science still left. In that we've been out for years and there's still science data to be turned into science there. All right, and stick that onto the maneuver node. This is a 7-second burn, very, very small. And that's what we're shooting for, right about there. And these tanks should all still be full. I just want to check all this. These ones are being emptied now. Still stupid amounts of oxidizer in there. Oh, I'm angry about that. All that extra weight for no reason. Okay. Now watch from here. There's our target. We'll see how close we get. I'd be surprised if we get super close. Okay, let's start this burn up. I'm not going to go full throttle because it's so short. Oh, here it comes. Maybe a little bit of RCS backwards. I think I overdid it a little bit. Oh, here, let's get rid of this. Well, I'm not getting the... Weird. Wasn't getting the little X to get rid of... Now it is there. It was weird. It wasn't there for a minute. I'm going to just leave that right where it is. I'm pretty ecstatic about that. And... got 2342 left. If we add a maneuver here, again for our capture. And we might need to do this capture in a few goes. Because this is going to be a about 15 minute burn to get the capture. So it might have to do one to get on a big elliptical orbit, come around and do the rest of it after. But that is 2343, about what's left in this stage. And there's still the 2966 left in the other stage to go to get us home. It might not work. It might work. I don't know, but I'm going to go for it anyway. I don't care. So let's get to Moho. I bet you these guys... Yeah, the sun seems to be good enough. We'll polish off the rest of the science data and transmit that. But let's again... Whoops, put that over there. Bump. Send up... What am I doing? Oh, yeah, an alarm. Create an alarm for our SOI change. We're going to give us, say, 6 days warning on that. Because I always find, for some reason, game loves messing me up on these SOI changes. Okay, and we'll watch it out from here. I'm going to do a quick save in case this messes up. But we're coming around, and we should be encountering Moho on this round. Yeah, I'm going to be definitely doing that capture in multiple burns. Unfortunately, you have to make the first burn enough to get an elliptical orbit about Moho, and that is going to be most of it. There's kind of no way around that. Okay, here it comes. The moment of truth. Very exciting. And delete and close. And where are we? See, this is what I mean. Sometimes it just... Moho escape. Am I already... See what I mean? Sometimes it messes up on these long... Where's my Moho encounter? See, yeah, I've already gone past Moho. See, you saw me. You saw me. This is why I did the quick save. You saw me set that alarm for 6 days. 6 days before. And for some reason, it's still messed up. That's why I quick saved. I'm glad I did. I don't know why. But I am not going to do that mistake again. This time I'm not going to depend on the alarm. I'll go here. We're going to try this again. This time I'm going to slow down manually. But yeah, this alarm blew right by my Moho encounter. And I've noticed that is sometimes an issue. I don't understand why. See, now I've lost it entirely with the time warping, so maybe that's part of the issue. I don't know. But we're going to get in close here. We're going to stop. Yeah, let's stop. There, I got my encounter back. My encounter is in 10 days. So let's go close to that. See how it disappears when you're time warping? I'm not sure what that's about. Okay, let's delete the alarm entirely. According to this, I still have 1 day, 2 hours to go. So, but every time I time warp, that close encounter disappears. There might be some sort of floating arithmetic thing that happens there. I don't know. Time warp again. Sorry, quick save again. Okay, 5 hours. Let's go ahead, 5 hours. That's less than 5 hours, but I don't trust myself. A little over an hour. "17 minutes. I hate that. Every time I time warp, it disappears. "9 minutes. "2 minutes. Am I paranoid? Oh yeah. Okay, there we go. So now we are coming in for our Moho encounter. Not time warping anymore. We're coming fast. We're going to be out of here in an hour and 47 minutes without the capture. Okay. Going to go to that maneuver. Let's get back here and to the maneuver. And we're going to dial this back. Oops, that's the wrong way. Dial this back. I want to get as large an elliptical orbit as I can, but I still want to be inside of Moho's SOI. Yeah, it's not. See, it's still 2,043 meters per second. Still a 13-minute burn. So we're going to do this guy here at our closest approach, and then we are going to come around, and then we can take our time after that. But unfortunately, there's no way around this 2,000 meter per second burn. We probably have science we can transmit. Oh, we got... you know what? I'm not going to collect science anymore. The heck with it. I know my tech tree is full. We don't need science. Even though there's Moho science, we don't need science. We can clean the experiments, though. That's something we can do. Okay. Let's see. Where is Moho? Where are you, Moho? Okay. Add alarm. Give me 10 minutes warning. And add that alarm. Okay. Where... No idea where Moho is. Let's just start time warping. Should be. His burn's coming up in like half an hour. That was the alarm, really? I don't think that was right. Okay, let's just watch it here. Where are you, Moho? I don't know if I'm coming from above or below. According to this, I am 5 minutes from the burn. Where are you, Moho? There you are. You're hiding on me in plain sight. Okay, let's get ourselves onto here. Now, one thing that can happen if I just straight up did the burn the way, you know, just put it on here and just hit burn, is one thing that can happen is I could end up, because I'm doing this burn so much earlier than where the maneuver is and where my periapsis is, it's very easy to push this periapsis down into Moho and crash. That's a really, really easy thing to do. So what I will be doing is watching this periapsis as I burn. I don't want it to get below 20 kilometers. So if I'm rolling the ship for exactly this reason, if this starts to get low, what I'm going to be doing is pitching up from what the maneuver node says. I suspect, in fact, what I think I might just, yeah, we'll deal with, we'll keep it locked on there for now, but what I suspect I will be pitching up slightly from where that maneuver node is. Okay. And I'm not doing a staging event partway through, and all these thrusters are full, so that's good. We'll just get ourselves here a little closer. I'm a little nervous. A little nervous. I would love to end this stream with Kerbals actually on the surface. That would be super. Whether they'll get back or not, I don't know. But we can perform a daring rescue. We got the time. They are now in their 7th year of their mission. All right, we're about 25 seconds from the burn. And like I said, I'm going to watch this periapsis as we go. I suspect I will need to pitch up a little bit. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. Okay, here we go. We're going for it. If you asked me 20 minutes ago whether I would be going for a capture, I would have said no way. Oh, I'm noticing I actually am pushing my periapsis up, so that kind of shows you what I know. We'll let it just stay on there. As long as that periapsis doesn't get... As long as I don't crash. That is the main thing. All right. Thunderbirds are go. Yeah, this is where I kind of... If I had a camera right now, I'd be showing you my Virgil Tracy marionette that my wife bought me one time for Christmas. I went, oh my God, thank you. All right, let's. I'm actually comfortable. I'm going to start doing some time warping here. We're coming in here to Moho, and again, as soon as I have my capture, as soon as that apoapsis is no longer negative, I'm calling it. And the fact that I'm pushing up my periapsis, I'm perfectly fine with. It will be a trivial burn out at apoapsis to reduce that periapsis again. So I really, really don't care about that. It's the not crashing into Moho, which is definitely the more important thing. Oh, it is starting to come down now. See that? That periapsis is starting to come down, so I do have to watch that. If it starts becoming dangerously down, then I will make some adjustments. Yeah, I will say, oh my God, there's oxidizer in here too. There's oxidizer everywhere. Okay, I will definitely say mistakes have been made. Mistakes have definitely been made in this, but here we are. We are at Moho. We are doing our circularization. We are trying our best to make it work. And if that isn't what this game is all about, is messing up and then trying to make it work anyway. I don't know what this game is all about. But I'm just noticing I got oxidizer in some of these tanks down here. Okay, before I'm glad I'm not staging. When this burn is done, I'm going to be transferring that oxidizer into these stages that I will jettison, so that we can get rid of some more mass. Where's my periapsis? It's 25 kilometers. I'm cool with that. I might, as we come in really close here, I might just slow down here a little bit. I just took the time warp off. I really want to watch this periapsis. I don't want it to get below 20. And like I said, oh, no. The camera change usually indicates, but it's no. This is still negative apoapsis. So I think what I'm going to do is I think if I pitch upwards or downwards, no, I'm not so sure. No, upwards would make sense. If I pitch upwards, I should be reducing my periapsis. And I'm pitching upwards. I have my, I'll show you. I'm not pitching upwards. Why am I not pitching upwards? Am I still time warping? Pitching up. That's not pitching up. Why am I not pitching up? Okay, I'm confused. I am confused why this won't pitch up. Because it's locked on here? Why? That is weird. I am pushing solidly on the S key right now. I don't understand why I'm not pitching up right now. Time warp is off. Oh, it's because I don't have communication and I don't have a Kerbal in here. Oh, for goodness sakes, that is exactly why. Come here, come here, come here. Transfer crew. Demesricon, get yourself up into the cockpit. Oh my gosh. Now I'm pitching up. Okay. Don't have to pitch up too much. So this is just to keep... That's funny. So I didn't have a pilot in the cockpit, and I'd lost my signal with Kerbin. So when I was pitching up just there... when I was pitching up just there, it wasn't working, because it's like, no, you don't have control, dude. So right now I'm just... I think we're okay. But I don't want my periapsis getting much lower than this, so that's why I'm pitching up a little bit from where the maneuver node is, but we're almost at our periapsis. In fact, yes, let's lock onto the maneuver node. We just passed periapsis, so we're on our way up, so there's no more danger of hitting the planet. That is good. Now all we got to do is continue this burn until we have a capture, which we don't yet. As soon as this apoapsis becomes a positive number, yeah, don't forget that everybody was lounging in the hitchhiker can here, not doing their jobs. It's like, what? Is something important happening? We're having a good card game here. All right. Coming back into the sun, I see. Okay, I really would love to see... Well, we still got 530 meters per second left in this burn, so I shouldn't be expecting a capture just yet. I should also say that because of the amount of time we're spending away from this retrograde vector, this is just due for how long the burn is, we are going to be burning more fuel than what the maneuver said, but I'm really hoping I don't have to stage. Here might be what I should do. Well, this is all multitasking now. Out, damn you, oxidizer. Just in case I got a stage, I want to get rid of the oxidizer that's in this core stage. So that if I stage, I'll get rid of this useless resource that I should never have brought along. Okay, still not captured. That's liquid fuel. That's oxidizer. Out! Won't go out. Out. How are we doing? Still not positive on the apoapsis. Okay, I think I've gotten rid of all the oxidizer. I think so. Alright, it still says here 520 meters per second left in the stage, so I think I'm okay. It so feels like you're burning the wrong way. I'm seeing that in the chat. Am I burning the wrong? I think the best plan is always to stick to that maneuver node unless that's going to become dangerous, rather than starting to fiddle around with being on the retrograde vector. You want to keep your burn vector in a constant... You don't want to be moving it around. You want a constant burn vector that's always in the same direction. Unless sticking to that vector is going to crash you into the planet, in which case you probably should do something. I'm hoping to see this apoapsis. It gets more negative. That's what it does. It gets more and more negative, and then it goes out to negative infinity, and then it bounces back positive. So if we start seeing this increasing really quickly, that means it's about to flip. This apoapsis number. And it is increasing more and more quickly. Fortunately, so is... Oh no, that's my burn almost at the end. Alright, here we go. I'm really watching this. I know this is coming in the chat talking about... I think it's more fuel efficient to stick to the same vector. I am just going on my limited intuition more than anything else. But that's what my intuition tells me. This is going to pop. There it goes. We're popping positive. I'm looking at the period. Stop. Maybe a little more. Let's get the period down. Okay, period's down. I want to make sure that I don't know. We have a capture. We are in orbit about Moho, everybody. Woohoo! That's exciting. Here is... Oh, that doesn't look like an orbit. Okay, now I'm... Let's do this until that says we have an orbit. How about that? There we go. Okay, it was saying it was an orbit here, but it wasn't saying it out here. Let's just get some confirmation here. The last thing I want is to is to leave. That would be bad. Okay. Now I want to do one last check. This should be nothing but liquid fuel in here. No oxidizer. And I think it is. There's a little bit of oxidizer I left in the space paying bit, but that's to do our deorbit if this thing ever gets back to Kerbin. Okay. So we got ourselves here in orbit. That's exciting. That is exciting. I'm going to do another burn here at Perion. This is to get our circularization. I'm honestly thinking we might be able to just do this because we did the bulk of the capture already. This is just a 2-minute burn. I don't think there's much of a sense of spending, you know, doing this in multiple burns is definitely more efficient, but I don't think I don't think it's worth it. we're gonna be able to do this pretty quickly. I want to get this done. So we're gonna get this 25 by 25. Pretty happy with that. Maybe a little more. Yeah, there we go. So that's going to be our capture there. You know what I should probably do? I'm just thinking about this. How much would it cost to do a plane change way out here? How much? Because getting back to Kerbin will be easier from an equatorial orbit. But the question is the cost going to be worth it? I got a feeling I'm going to be sending a rescue mission on these guys. I honestly don't care. So, whoop. Oh, it's not much. It's a tiny, tiny, tiny burn. Thank you, Moho, for being such a wimpy planet. Tiny burn. So I'm looking at I want to get this inclination down to 0. Now, I don't think... Oh, I can see. That's bringing it lower. I'm not quite at the equatorial node there. I would like to really, really, really get this down to 0. I should keep an eye on my periapsis too while I'm doing this. It's not much of a burn. I think this is worth it. I think this is worth it. Okay, but I think it needs to be further along here. Again, I'm just looking at the inclination number. It would be nice if it would show you where the equatorial ascending and descending nodes are. That is, where does this orbit cross the equator of Moho? But you can kind of get a feel for where it is by, well, if you can get your inclination down to 0, I think I went too far. If you can get your inclination down to 0, then you're in the right spot. And I honestly think I am too far. 0.5, a little more this way. 0.6. 0.5. I'm really close to where it is. I maybe shouldn't be too picky. Oh, 0.3. A little more. Okay, I saw 0.1 degree. That's fine. And let's bring that periapsis down at the same time. Fortunately, when you do a reasonable plane change, you also end up messing up your apoapsis and periapsis. It's kind of hard not to have that happen. I'd love that to be around 20 kilometers. Let's see here. 0.442, so I need more retrograde. A little more prograde. Making tiny adjustments now. I'm going to go with this. So 0.1 degree inclination. My periapsis is about 22 kilometers. I am happy with that. I think that's a worthwhile burn to do. And then we'll come down to here and we'll complete our capture. So yeah, let's again do an alarm. I'm going to give myself more than just the 1 minute warning. Add that alarm. Scooting on out away from Moho, but we're going to be right back. Yeah, I can use the mouse wheel. I know. If I'm so used to clicking, I'm seeing in the chat to use the mouse wheel for really fine adjustments. It's less noise too. I'm sure you guys can hear my mouse clicking over the microphone, but yeah. I mean, I don't have excuses. I just get in habits of doing things, and then that's that. Okay, let's see. Lock that onto the maneuver. This is a bit of normal. A bit of anti-normal, I think. And a bit of... Whoa, whoa, whoa. What am I doing time warping? I wanted this thing to go faster and I started time warping. What a dope. Get over there. You know, I told myself you don't need to turn around quickly. It's much more realistic if the spaceship moves around slowly, so that's why I did not put an extra set of reaction wheels or RCS thrusters down this way. There are RCS thrusters, but they're only in the spaceplane bit. And now I'm sort of regretting that as we watch this thing. All right. Only a 10-second burn. And what I'm really looking at is actually just getting this inclination down fairly low. It's at 31.5 degrees right now. On the maneuver, I had it down to 0.1 degree. So that's what I'm shooting for. Okay, and go. There we go, 0.1 degree inclination. What is our periapsis at? So they're going to give me, oh, I have to go that tab. There we go. Periapsis, 22 kilometers. More than happy with that. Much nicer orbit. Okay, now we will complete our circularization here. I know people are saying mouse wheel. Like if you do this and then use the mouse wheel, like you can always use the mouse wheel. That's clearly way too much. Go to 1 second intervals. It's because I have the periapsis at the wrong spot. There. Okay, and less retrograde. Here, I'm using the mouse wheel. So 21 by 21. There we go. Happy with that. Should be a nice capture. And this is a 2-minute and 29-second burn. We should be able to do this. We are going to be staging partway through this. We're finally losing these boosters here. So let's see. Again, an alarm because I just don't trust the 5-minute. Oh, on the maneuver. 5-minute warning. I'm going to do a quick save too. Why not? And yeah, we're not going to, you know what? Everyone's lazy. Nobody's going to do experiments anymore. I have enough science to fill the tech tree. So we're just going to go, nah. We need no more science. We're all scienced up. We have the maximum amount of science. There is no more sciencing that's needed to be done. There's nothing more to learn. We have learned everything there is to learn. Okay, back onto our maneuver node. And I do need to be ready to stage. We have 102 meters per second left in this stage with these two, and then we're on to that core stage, which still has, with all my finagling, still has 3,469 meters per second left. These guys might not need a rescue. We'll see. And that's not counting the lander. The lander's not counted in any of these numbers here. Okay, just time warping. So we're close to doing the thing. And we're gonna get ready. I gotta get ready to stage. Okay. Alright. So 4, 3, 2, and 1, and go. And oh my gosh, nothing like low thrust to weight vehicles. And if you like how low the thrust to weight is right now, we're about to lose 6 engines. I think so. Yeah, we're about to lose 6 of our 9 engines, so expect the thrust to weight to go lower. All right, as soon as these engines go dry, we're staging. And there they go. Bye. Those are to forever remain in orbit about Moho. And just noticing that staging induced a little bit of torque. We are turning just a little bit. Oh, seems like we're going back now. Okay, let's again time warp this. The rest of this out of the way. And honestly, I am eager to get down to the surface. I want to get down to the surface. That is what I want to do. Let's undo that time warp. A lot faster. Okay, about 22 by 21 by 22, 21 by 20, somewhere in that vicinity. So I'm just looking at my Apple Wapsis number more than anything, and oh, Perry, oh, X, silly. Oh my gosh, it's okay. For some reason I pressed comma instead of X. It's okay. So what do we got? 18 by 22. That's okay. So here we go. This is our orbit. Okay. I'm ready to do this. I'm ready. I want to do it. We're at about, yeah, I can do that. We're gonna do a quick save. Let's do some crew transferizing. So we still got Swanee here. Swanee's going into the forward cabin. We have our 2 scientists. They are done sciencing. They have quit. They have done all the sciencing. They have done the science. They say we are now just for the rest. We are here for the rest of the ride, and that's it. Okay, so all 4 of them are up in here. This should be full. It is. I've had that turned off to make sure that. So this is the lander portion at the top, and yeah, let's do this thing. So, quick save. Let's pick a good landing spot. You know what? I'm gonna just do this right now. So if I should have put this on an action group, I did not. But there is a docking port tucked under this fairing. Here we are. Let's lock that. We'll reset the camera. Aim the camera, reset the camera. There we go. And we shall undock. There we go. RCS on. Back away. So this was the whole stupid design of this thing, that this whole space plane came apart. And inside said space plane is a lander. We open up here. There we go. Can open up and look inside there. There is our sciencey stuff that we're just flat out not going to use. Activate our engines. Activate this engine. And this should be to do the job. It's got 2,500 meters per second. Delta V. That should comfortably do it. He says with not a monstrous amount of comfort. Did I ever put those ladders on an action group? Does not look like I did, so I'm going to do it right now. Extend, toggle the ladder, and toggle the ladder onto that action group. Okay, that should be that. Okay, so I don't care where we come down, and I'm looking like maybe this zone here. What do folks think about here? I think we can I think we're in a good spot right now. Maybe time warp just a little bit. And again, I am gonna quick save. I have done precious little landing on Moho. So I am not going to apologize for quick saving here. So let's just do this. I'm okay, a little further. So about, yeah, I want to land right around here. That's kind of what I'm going for. I don't know what the deceleration of this thing is going to be like. Here we can extend our landing gear. Oh, of course. Not you, though. Retract that one. Don't need you. Part of it still thinks it's a space plane. Silly vehicle. You're a lander now, not a space plane. Am I ditching lander like Apollo? No, no, this thing's going home. Like I said, this is a spectacular... I'm being asked, am I ditching the lander? You know what? The plan was not to ditch the lander. The plan was to redock, return to Kerbin, and then to undock the space plane and have the space plane fly down and land hopefully on the runway. That was the whole overly ambitious plan. And not to ditch the lander. Now, to be honest, ditching the lander is not entirely stupid. I could ditch the lander, just take the rest of the vehicle back. Everybody can live in that hab module. It would save a ton of weight. I don't know if I want to do that. Okay, let's put this on terrain because I think we are not too far off from here. And we're looking for a nice-ish... This is all hilly where we are here. I really would like it not to be too hilly. Let's put this on surface. Our surface velocity is about 790 meters per second. Obviously, we need to kill that off. Moho is bigger than the moon, right? You know what? I'm going to put the camera also on free. I think that makes me feel better. There we go. I would like to see if hopefully it flattens out a bit up ahead. That's what I really want to see. Okay, let's see if we can kill some more of this velocity here. Okay, this lander is, you know what? Oh my gosh, right here. Let's see if I can, I wish right below me is great, but I can tell I'm going too quick. I don't think I'll be able to stop. I should have aimed right, look right below me how nice that is. But I'm gonna try and just get down. Getting down to the surface as best I can. It is lumpy and crappy here. Trying to maybe aim a little more into this zone. I don't know. Still 6 kilometers above the surface. worried I'm going to be on this hill here, but I would love to be more down there. Come on, down, down, down. Just killing velocity. We'll go straight down. Okay, we should probably start thinking about arresting vertical velocity too here. I think we're okay. 2.5 kilometers. Come on, right up there. Here, go. Let's lock that on retrograde. Okay. Start controlling throttle. I think I'm okay. I'm going to do a quick save right here. Hopefully it's not too hilly right below us. You know, you get so used to things like the moon, you got to get used to this being different. It is overbuilt. So hopefully, okay, 300 meters, let's zero this out. Come on. So you get used to what your acceleration is on the moon. And of course, this is not the moon, is it? Oh, slow down, slow down. Okay, come on. Don't you think of falling over. Don't you even think about it. Stay, 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 stay. Okay, I'm taking my hands away from the keyboard. What happens if I take off SAS? It's a little nerve-wracking. Okay, ladder. Didn't I put the ladder on an action group? Didn't you guys? There it goes. Okay, SAS is off and my hands are away from the keyboard. All right. Well, we are sitting on the surface of Moho. Okay, let's get out our pilot here, Demesricon, and let's see here. Now, this is not graceful. The design of this is really, really bad. We need to let go and then grab again. Grab again, grab again, grab again, grab again. Okay, that's not how you're supposed to do it. We practiced this on the launch pad. It wasn't that difficult. Oh my gosh. Oh shoot, it's sliding. I could see it sliding behind me. I don't like, oh my gosh. We are sliding down the hill. We are sliding down the hill. We do not have a pilot, so that... Oh, the pilot was the dumbest person to take out first. I tried to put on SAS, and it says, oh, dude, you don't have a pilot. And there isn't a probe body on here. Okay, we're still sliding a little bit, aren't we? I can see my speed here, 0.3 meters per second. Okay, let's get back to Demesricon. Demesricon is really quickly going to plant a flag. This is our flag number 7. Oh, my counter! My counter! My counter! I should upgrade that, update it to 7. I wasn't ready for that at all. This is flag 7. Ah! Go back. Okay, back to here. I don't like that this is sliding. It's funny, from here you really can't notice it sliding, but as soon as I go to Demesricon, I can definitely see him sliding. Oh, I'm on the flag. Come on, get in there. Come on, run. Run! Run, varmint, run! You need a pilot. So this is going to slide down the hill. So that's okay, I guess. Get on. Grab. Grab. Up, up, up. We need grippier pads on the bottom there. Okay, you should be able to just board from here. Board. Okay, now I should have SAS again. Ha! All right, so tell you what we'll do. We did get our flag down. Silly me, I did not put up the text file that allows me to change my counter from 6 to 7, so I will make sure to do that. There is 1,362 meters per second left in this vehicle. That should not be a problem to rendezvous it with our vessel that is in orbit. But you know what we're going to do is we're going to put that off Yeah, I thought this was going to be quick, but it looks like we're going to get a 5th stream out of this one. We're going to get back in orbit. We're going to dock with our vessel. We're going to try and get these 4 folks back home with this vessel only. Hopefully we won't need a rescue. We might need a rescue, and if we do, well, then we do. But for now, I want to thank everybody that's in the chat. I want to thank everybody that is watching this at a later date. I can see in the chat, it's still sliding with yes, I knew it is, but at least if it starts to fall, it'll be easy for me to write it again. And I want to thank everybody in the chat. I want to thank everybody that's watching this at a later date. I hope to see you all next week, and where we will hopefully get the 4 of these folks back home. I never anticipated this was going to be as much of an adventure as this, but it is. So, see you all later. Have yourself a great week.